Hello and welcome back to the Footballing Question YouTube channel. And already today I've released a video about Kai Havertz. That was done a few days ago. It took a few days to get out, and as soon as that video is ready to be released, new transfer news comes out of absolutely nowhere. We're so used to deals kind of developing over time. This Kai Havertz one, which I talked about earlier, is it's taking its time. It probably will get done soon. And then also you've got the Declan Rice one, which is going to take a while because it's a lot of money. And you see clubs make moves. The Kane saga, that'll go on for the entire summer, and he will probably stay at Tottenham. That's just the way things work. Man United search for a striker, that'll take time. But the one thing that's interesting is my club Arsenal, recently we've been trying to operate kind of in the dark, and as a result you get news like today where Jurrien Timber's move to Arsenal comes out of absolutely nowhere. And when a deal comes out of absolutely nowhere, it makes me more certain that it might happen. And it's insane. So it's come straight out of David Ornstein. It's on The Athletic right here. Arsenal have made an opening £30 million offer for Ajax defender Jurrien Timber. If you cast your minds back a year, Man United were heavily interested in him, but he turned them down to stay one more year with Ajax. He said recently that he's got a lot of options this summer. He does want to move this summer, but he stayed last year out of love for the club, and he's given them that year. And now he thinks it's time to move on. And Arsenal are linked with him. As an Arsenal fan, I did not see something like this happening. I did not think we'd go for someone in defence as big as Jurrien Timber, like in terms of as high profile a signing. We've been linked with Kostas Simican, Fresneda. Jacques Siller was the most high profile player we were linked with, and I wasn't too sure about him because I don't think he was the player we really looked for, and we should have been going for a more defensive signing. And Jurrien Timber is that. And in terms of depth going into the Champions League, this is exactly what we need. We need someone who, isn't going to need too much time, someone who, can play Premier League and Champions League, who, giving Arsenal more options in terms of rotation and not playing the same lineup week in, week out. And he does that. He can play right back and cover for Ben White, and he can cover at centre back. The signing of Jurrien Timber, I think, spells the absolute end of Rob Holding's career at Arsenal, 100%. And it gives us a very good option on the right-hand side. And just the depth it allows. We would have Ben White, Jurrien Timber and Tomiyasu who can all play right back, and all of them are very good options. And then you've also got a left back, you've got Zinchenko who can play left back, and Tomiyasu. And there are rumours that Tierney might stay. I'm not entirely sure, but if Tierney stays, Rob Holding is 100% gone, because there is just no need for him to be there. Do I like this signing? Yes, it would be an amazing move. This will not go in for this fee. Apparently, Ajax want a fee around 50 to 60 million euros, which translates to around 45 to 50 million, around that. So I think if Arsenal get him for around 40-ish million pounds with add-ons, I think that's a realistic deal that can be struck. The interesting thing is Arsenal have made a bid for Timber. They're bidding for Rice, and they're looking like they've bid money for Kai Havertz. And if you combine all of the money which we've bid, so we've bid 60 mil for Kai Havertz, we've bid 90, let's just say 90 for Rice, never mind the add-ons, and then we've bid 30 here. So, that's 180 million. 180 million minus add-ons. And that is insane. That's 180 million without any money that we've brought in. So we know for a fact Arsenal have a lot to spend this summer, minus sales. I am a bit worried if certain sales don't happen. Like if Kieran Tierney doesn't go, I think it absolutely means Florian Balogun has to be sold, because I think he's the most prized asset which could move this summer, and Arsenal could potentially get a fee of up to £50 million if they really, really push for a deal to get as much money as possible out of it. I think this signing would be fantastic. There are obviously rumours that, if Man United were interested last year, will they move back in? It's funny because around this time last year, another Ajax defender was on the way out, and it was leaked that Arsenal were interested around the exact same time of year, and that was Lisandro Martinez, who obviously ended up moving to Manchester United. So maybe Ajax have leaked it on their end to try and get Man United more interested, to try and get them panicking, or other teams such as Bayern Munich who I know are interested as well. It's funny, Bayern Munich are interested in Kai Havertz and Declan Rice, and it looks like Arsenal are in the ascendancy in both of those two deals. So I'm not really sure why Bayern aren't as an attractive team to join, but it seems like Arsenal are beating them in the window at the moment. I don't think Man United will move back in. as much, purely because they went for Timber before Lisandro Martinez. So I don't know if a centre-back's what they're going to be looking for. It very much feels like their focus is going to be in midfield and up front, which is why you're seeing links to Rasmus Højlund and Mason Mount, both of them signings which they are really looking for. And this still excites me so much. It really excites me. Contradictory to the Kai Havertz one, where I'm kind of convincing myself day by day that it's going to go okay, but with this one I see exactly how it works. And the idea of Arsenal not having a set in stone starting lineup, and the idea of him giving stiff competition to Ben White, the idea that, you know, Saliba could get injured and we wouldn't be in a nightmare scenario where either he can fill in at centre back and Ben White plays right back, or Ben White fills in at centre back and he goes right back. The idea of that situation, it's us learning from mistakes last year. We want to have more solid centre-back depth, and Kivior is only going to improve and get more used to playing in the Premier League, and we saw that towards the end of last season, and it's exciting. It's really exciting, this signing, and to see Arsenal move in this way is really impressive. And it excites me so much. I'm seeing my club do things which they weren't doing before. We did a video recently talking about the contracts we've agreed, and getting all of that business done in terms of contracts just in time for the summer just gives us less to think about. We can focus on the incomings, and even then, forgetting about the other things, Gundogan is still an option, and that would be a phenomenal signing. Because if we sign Declan Rice and Gundogan, and maybe Kai Havertz, who can play in the 8, and Timber to cover defensively, I don't think missing out on Caicedo is the worst case scenario. And also, you still have Romeo Lavia. However, news did come out today that Southampton would want a record fee, and it's yet to be understood what they mean by that. Do they mean a record sale, which would mean more than the 75 million they got for Van Dijk, or do they mean a record under 21 sale, which they got 35 million for Luke Shaw? If it's over 35 million, absolutely fine. I was expecting that fee. But if it's over 75, we might as well just sign Caicedo. I think I'm so excited about this window. I'm getting the same feeling as I was last year. I was like, do you know what? Arsenal are doing great business. By the time the season started last year, Arsenal had signed all their players in the summer. There was nothing after the season started. They only signed, I think, 4 or 5 players. I think 5 players. And yeah, if Arsenal can get all their business done by the time the Community Shield rolls around, that's how clubs should run. You shouldn't run to the point where deals aren't done by the time you start playing. Realistically, that's what you should try. I mean, but obviously if you get injuries or someone's out for the year, you might need a deadline day deal. But this is Arsenal moving quick, fast. We're not bidding on one player at a time. We're trying to get multiple deals done, and it's really impressive, and it excites me as a fan. And yeah, that's all I can really say. But the more important thing is, what do you think? Do you think Jurriën Timber would be a good signing? Where do you actually see him going at the end of the window? And yeah, what other signings do you think we should talk about in here? What rumours do you think we should talk about? Doesn't have to be Premier League, could be other signings. Do you want us to talk about all the imminent Saudi deals? However, we did do a video on that yesterday. You can go and check that out up here as well. Just look at all the stuff. I think we're going to try and do a video covering Nkunku, as that got announced today officially, even though it's basically been done since January. But yeah, like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment below what you think. Subscribe if you're new, and don't forget to ding the bell for notifications every single time we upload. Anyway, this has been the Footballing Question, and we'll see you next time.